the only energy healers, love light people on the TikTok app that have been fully embraced by a corner of the witch talk community. And I want to talk about why. First thing is that I love open-minded skeptics. I love people who have critical thinking skills, who test things out for themselves, who don't blindly believe anything that they see or read or hear. That's very important to me and to them. I don't shove my rhetoric down the throat. I'm not very judgmental when it comes to there's a right way to do things, a wrong way to do things. I'm not about good versus evil or light versus dark or any of that bullshit that's out there. So that's another thing. I have no fear when it comes to other people's practices or things that have happened to them. And I have super effective ways to help. One of the most difficult things that happens for me when it comes to scrolling the For You page is the intrusive thoughts that I receive. Well, of course, I remove them energetically, and get to the root of what's causing those emotions inside of me. But on this app specifically, there are a lot of people who have been burnt, have a lot of trauma, went through mental psychosis, spiritual psychosis, that really want to put spiritual energy healers like myself, even though they haven't come from me directly, their heads on a chopping board. I'm all for spreading awareness, perspectives as well, and helping people, guiding them to finding what is right for their own individual self. I am very big on that. But there is something that I'd like to pose a perspective on. When it comes to a lot of this new age spirituality that is on this app, it is regurgitated information passed down when someone left Christianity and they entered into spirituality and they hear all these terminologies and they are immersed in it fully and they speak on it. Okay, right? So I understand as someone who also went through that process of how it's not really healthy. And I get that you would want to spread awareness on these topics. But are you providing solutions? Are you providing a way to help people out of these situations other than don't do it, it's wrong, it's dangerous, it's horrible? Because if you're not providing solutions, then it's the same thing as what you're saying is so harmful. The same way that I hear a Christian person say that if you do this thing, it is dangerous and you're going to hell, is the same way that I feel about a new age spiritualist that says if you're not vegan, you are going to get left behind and not go to the 5D new earth. And it's the exact same way I feel about someone who will say, if you use these terminologies or listen to these spiritual practitioners, you are going to have a spiritual psychosis and it's dangerous. It's all exactly the same to me. And every single one of those practices, religion, New Age, and calling out New Age, they're all coming from a place of wanting to help. They are. So you, as someone who is calling out the dangers of New Age spirituality, which I'm not New Age, by the way, I'm just letting you know, but when you call out people and you tell them how dangerous it is and that they need to listen to you because your personal experience proves that everybody's going to go through what you did and you want to save them, that is just repackaged Christianity being like, my brother turned to drugs because he had a demon in him, and I don't want that to happen to you. And I saw that demon. It didn't look like him. It was a completely different person. And so you need to turn to Jesus because it's dangerous, and I've experienced it. It's coming from a place of personal trauma and fear. Yes, love, too. One of the reasons it takes people a while to get to know me or to be open to me is because of the terminologies that I use for certain things. And my terminologies and my verbiage come from my own personal experience, whether it be little white girl from Florida, single mom of 3, someone who grew up in the church, and then someone who came from that background after leaving the church of that more new age spirituality, because that's what I found first while I was trying to find myself. My verbiage also comes from graduating high school in 2000, the music I listen to, the movies I watch, the literature I have consumed, and also from terminology from other TikTok users as well. Vocabulary is created and adapted by the culture and the society at hand. So buzzwords are not always necessarily dangerous. Of course, being respectful of and understanding the background of certain terminologies and phrases in vocabulary, if you're anybody who gives a fuck at all, your vocabulary should change and adapt. Like, I want to say, let's see, I used to use a terminology that I was not aware was incorrect. When it came to, I would say, please remove all contracts, promises, vows, curses, spells, magic, mirages, and I say magic and mirages now, but I used to use a verbiage that denoted that there was like a positive or a negative to the magic, as in good versus evil. And I also used the terminology for an entire religion because I did not know better. Another thing that I have consciously made a decision to change, instead of just wrapping soul fragments in love, light, and forgiveness, we now have and/or divine justice. Some people were not comfortable with wrapping soul fragments from their abusers in love, light, and forgiveness, and they needed something different. And actually wrapping those soul fragments in divine justice does different things to the soul fragments. It chemically changes the way that they're presented and wrapped. But there's some things that I keep, and there's a reason I keep them, but they're things I have to explain. Like in my house cleanse, I have a little banner in the left part and it says better than sage guaranteed. Well, if you know, sage, we don't use that. 2, it does more than cleanse a home. There's more to this. Why do I keep that? I want the people who use that to have a safe alternative. I also have a YouTube video that is about starseed migration. That terminology itself, that definition of a word is used and created in white supremacy. Even the concept behind it, that elitist concept, it's there. But some of the people who use that terminology have no fucking clue. Even though it's 2022 and they should, they don't know. So if you yell at them and call them evil and tell them how horrible they are, how are they ever going to discover it? How are they ever going to fucking find out? So sometimes I'll use that terminology to change perspective, to give them a safe place to expand their mind and learn about things. Because all of us are aliens, but we're not missing our home planet. We're here on Earth right now as humans. But that's another topic. I'm not going to go into it now. I started doing daily healing prompts, and the one that I did today, as I'm making this video, it was about the phrase was here. I'll put it on the screen. Say this phrase out loud to time travel to witness and heal your role in the quote-unquote spiritual warfare. Spirit, if it's in my highest good, please show me the most impactful point I can heal about the Anunnaki fallen angels I can heal at this time. I have an astronaut with fake wings, horns, and a halo, and a rocket ship going into the sun. Using buzzwords to open up people's perspective so that they can go see the truth about things, so they can decide on their own. But if I just tell them that they are evil or wrong or disillusioned for believing in a spiritual warfare, how is that going to help them? The best way to gain perspective is from firsthand experience. To help people regain their own personal power, it really, really, really helps if you don't demonize them and tell them that their entire existence, way of life, and way of thinking and believing is evil or wrong or dangerous. If you really want to expand the mind and meet halfway, put it in a language they can fucking understand. If your entire platform is telling people how dangerous something else is without providing help to get them out of it themselves, then all your platform is going to be is a bunch of people who have trauma like you with energetic pitchforks in their hands, all getting together to burn something to the ground without any tools to build it back up again. Because I do things so differently, because I am on the side of spiritual, on the side of science, and on the side of witchy things, I don't really fit in anywhere, right? I just don't. The reason that people don't come for me is because my practice, my way of doing things, one, absolutely fucking works. Two, I meet people on their level. Three, I help them empower themselves. Four, I don't demonize them or say that their way of doing things or living life is wrong or evil. Five, everything that I talk about from my personal experience, I give them the tools for them to see it for themselves. I don't tell them who not to follow, who not to listen to, who not to believe, but come from a place of understanding that they absolutely, as humans, as all of us, need help sometimes to see what's right and healthy for them. Anger's not going to do it. So the point of this series, my message the perspective that I want to give you is, if you actually truly do care about their health and their mental well-being, so much so that your whole platform is to tear down anything that you think is dangerous or scary, can you please understand that you're coming from a place of trauma and that you're not actually helping people? You are doing the thing that you're saying other people do is dangerous. Also kind of telling the people that follow you and listen to you that they are idiots, and not helping them realize that they can make these decisions on their own in a very tangible way. It's not helping them, it's creating codependency and whatever you want to call you being the leader of the pitchfork gang. But I'm just one person, and that's just my perspective, and I'm sharing how I do things. Doesn't mean you have to. Okay, bye. On this one. So, when we talk about Gaia being a thing on its own, it separates us from all of us being connected. Not we are all one, but like this. Some of you are a soul fragment of the earth. Some of you are a soul fragment of rocks, which are separate from the earth. Some of you are a soul fragment of the ocean. Some of you are a soul fragment of wind. Some of you are a soul fragment of fire. Some of you are a soul fragment of woodland creatures. We are all a part of everything. So with that being said, if we merge with those versions of ourselves,